I think when they have a road dog, I think I focus more on the road dog because it's an easy target. But usually, I can't read that he getting pocketed, and I still focus on him, and then I die. So I do feel that, but I'm not that sure.
Okay, so first of all, to make sure I understand it correctly, by ego, you mean you tend to focus on specific targets a little bit more than it's needed to be?
Um, yes, and maybe over pushing, and then I'm alone. Some things like that.
Some things like that. Okay. Well, this definitely might be good to look into that a little bit more, how to approach it differently. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I wouldn't phrase it necessarily that's about ego. To me, that is just understanding what kind of things you need to be engaging based on. Yeah, what kind of things you should be able to track, what is there maybe we're not paying attention to, and that is something what you can solve, especially during the practice. We're probably going to have enough time if you want to also apply some of the strategies later on in the games, but currently, let's take a look. Let's see. So, a big ego, okay, focusing on the wrong target sometimes. Is there anything else you feel like you struggle with?
Mm, I like I said, I think I sometimes just push a bit too
Yeah, push a bit
much.
too much. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. That's it so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Sounds
I'm
reasonable.
just I'm always progressing. I don't think yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. So first off, a little bit unfortunate, but usually might expect some sort of
Yeah.
things like that to happen to us. That's fine though. We're just trying to stabilize. That's okay. Trying to go on the hog and stabilize it a little bit more. And so shoot. Okay, that's fine. Lot of attention on this guy there. Okay. Okay, I see. Hog is gonna be definitely a tough matchup. It's definitely not the most important thing to just face tank the Hog a lot of times because of the hook. He can easily hook you, and you on the other hand, you cannot counter that directly with your abilities, but you can counter that through your position. You can counter that through your setup.
Yeah.
So how do we solve that? Let's look at this here. The enemy is approaching, especially if you know, ideally you should start scouting here and you exactly know that they have a hog, and right now you should start approaching. You should start doing something with your positioning. So what do you think needs to be done with your positioning? So it's going to be tough for this guy to hook you, and you can also set up the good kills. Oh, let's maybe also phrase it this way, because I think target priority can help you out with the position in general. What are the
Mhm.
good targets for you to actually go for on the enemy team, in theory?
So there is the Farah that I can push her because I'm flying, she's flying,
Sure.
but I don't think she's the priority because we do
Okay.
have Anzo and Ash. Um,
Oh, she's a pretty good target there, I think, because why not?
yeah.
Isolated targets, yeah. Generally speaking. Okay.
Because we do have Hans and Ash. I think that's probably when people taking this role, they know this is the main objective to uh, take the flying and then the squishy on the back. Um,
What are your priorities as you in general?
but just push the team, make pressure on them. This is my first impression and priority.
Okay.
Less on the focus, and maybe um, I honestly I don't know.
Okay.
Like
Uh,
when I analyze, I
yeah.
generally don't know.
This stuff makes sense. Okay. So let's start with the basics. First off, because you're playing Diva, D.Va is a dive character. You have a lot of mobility. You can get from point A to point B really fast. This is important.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, one of the easiest targets for you to attack are usually going to be some sort of isolated targets. Okay? And when you look at the enemy team comp, the isolation, it depends on where they exactly position and just by how the characters play. Yeah, if you look at that, for example, Pharah, you expect them to be up in the air. Yeah, and this guy, like now we just look at the positioning based on the context. Yeah, they also pretty isolated here. Okay, maybe the Pharah can also be the one because they fly up in the air a lot of times. Okay, and that is something what you can easily pick because you have a lot of burst, and because you're one of the best at dealing with them, we usually want to be attacking one of those targets. So let's keep it this way: isolated targets, and it's gonna be kind of similar to the ideas we talked about with you before on Tracer and Genji. This is the dive character as well. It's just you initiate a lot. You don't have to wait for an initiation. You have to initiate a little bit more. Now, you look at this situation and see some isolated targets. Let's say this point A, this is isolated May. Maybe there's going to be a far above sometimes a point B. How can you set up so you get on those targets comfortably? What should you be doing with your setup?
So, can you rephrase that again?
Yeah, of course. What kind of position you should take to be able to get on those isolated targets, potentially, instead of doing what we did here?
Maybe just going to point A by, I don't know, boosters and make pressures above them can help us.
Okay, but how do you get there? How do you make to the point A exactly? So yeah, boosters it can be fine, but are you gonna boost through here, through the main, or is there any other rotation you can take? Remember that
I
the
mean,
hook is something you don't want to deal with. The hook is something you
yeah.
don't want to deal with ever. Okay, so
So either when I see he wastes the hook, then I can push just right through
that's good.
there.
Okay.
But when you say it like that, because I do feel like maybe up from the window on the right,
Yeah. For
they,
example.
they,
Yeah.
there can be
Yeah.
on
Exactly.
maybe yeah. This is I thought maybe
Can we go from
even
here?
make them a bit disoriented from going through the back from the tunnel
Yeah.
and then go back to the, A or B, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. You exactly need to be taken, and we talked a lot about that in the Genji and Tracer, but this is exactly what you're gonna do with the dev characters a lot. You have to take off angles. You have to play away from your core so your team can actually push. So you're actually able to divert the attention because what it does if I'm in position B and maybe attacking this here, I'm diverting this guys to look around so my team can push. Now you're stuck with your team and you're also getting hooked so your team cannot push through. Yeah, all you guys are just gonna be stuck in the same area currently. Okay, and what you also do by that is you avoid chip damage. It's just easy for you to walk through. It's just easy for you to because you're taking those off angles, it's easy for you to pressure through the map. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I can show you a few examples of that. So our idea is try to take off angles. We making sure that we avoid poke damage. Let me see. Maybe there are any good examples of that too. Well, it's kind of straightforward, but let me see. Maybe there's something I saved before. Okay, D.Va. Might be one of the good ones. Okay, KSA. Maybe this here can be okay. Let's see. Right, all right. So this is taking angles. I just want to make sure I find the taking angles part. Okay, this is what we got. Oh, maybe this one can work just fine. Okay, I'm just gonna show you this. Okay, So a lot of times when we are trying to play Diva, you're going to be exactly trying to take off angles, positions away from your core. And you also notice that a lot of times you will abuse verticality more. You will just try to go somewhere up on the maps typically. And this way it's going to be easier for you to attack because you scout. And you're also diverting the enemy attention too. So you look at this here, KSA, a lot of the times they're going to be doing exactly that. So at any point of time, if the situation allows them, if the map allows them, they playing away from their core. See where their core is, by the way. I think most of their team is all the way left side. Yeah, they could just look slightly.
Yeah,
Outline's
yeah.
been on the left. Yeah, and that's completely fine for you to be by yourself. You don't have to mother your team directly or anything, as I think. You first off need to make sure attention goes to you. So you take those valuable off angles, and then later on, you can set up your push. You can just think, okay, what are isolated targets I can push now? And this based on the context. You kind of look isolated. You think, oh, okay, who is isolated now? Well, let's see. You can always also help yourself out with understanding, maybe anticipating who might be isolated. Like we talked about, the Farah could be isolated or something. But now you see they scouting, they look, oh, they heard the Lucio is inside. Let's just try to go in and maybe punish them. Yeah, they're trying to search for them. Yeah, they're exactly here. Isolated, one of the best targets because you have one of the biggest bursts at all times. Okay, and you can also always see that start with off angle. After that, you searching for isolated, trying to dive in. This kind of basic thought process, okay? And you will see maybe here, okay, I'll play the point a little bit, but then afterwards we still have to think about dealing with somewhat of an isolated target a little bit more. This Winston seems isolated for first time, but then later on they notice there's a soldier by themselves. They're trying to push them away. Sometimes you don't even have to kill targets. You can just try to push them away. Yeah, you can just make sure you're controlling the space this way, so the rest of your team is actually pushing. You're absorbing pressures, I think, a lot of times. That's how you do that. Okay, it doesn't make sense, this example. Going isolated, making sure you take off angles, verticality. So this is exactly how you should play. Right now, you're playing more like a Sig or Reinhardt. You're just not taking advantage of your mobility, right? You just need to go somewhere. You need to take angles, especially if you saw that guy. Maybe you got slapped again. See, you can still close the gap by going the window. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe make another rotation. Yes, it's gonna take time, but it's still better. That's why I like what you did afterwards. You went all the way right side, and this way you close the gap and you take off angle at the same time. But the target, a little bit, the target priority is a little bit off. Yeah, you kind of just shooting the hog there. Yeah, what we should be shooting right now? What seems more killable, isolated? Yeah, I know 100%. Yeah, it's just let's. I'm just gonna call it. They are isolated not by the positioning, but kind of the nature of the fight. A lot of the attention goes here. The hog is getting healed, and the Kiriko is paying attention to him. But this here is not getting any support. So this can be one of the isolated targets. So maybe even searching for the Farah later on can also be okay. You can always choose one of those targets, and because you do that, then those guys will turn around, and the rest of your team can push. Okay. Let's keep watching. Okay. Now, you see, exactly, yeah. We should have done exactly think where could he go from here. One of the rotations we already mentioned. Left, right. It should be much better. Okay, let's see how we approach it afterwards. Yeah. Okay, where should you go right now? So you guys approaching it to the choke, but still make it work. Take off angle, use your boosters, and get close. How can you do that?
Up left. Not up.
Maybe
up left, yeah, or just underground left. When the pillar work with that.
Yeah, this can also work, to be honest. It just might be slightly harder. When you're flying, you usually notice when you're flying out in the open, you're getting poked out a lot, usually, and you want to avoid that. So even taking slow approach, I'm going from this corner to this. So this is still closer compared to where you are now. Yeah, if you're trying to attack from here to here, you're getting spammed. But here, I can always stabilize, even though you flew in the open a little bit. You still can stabilize, and then afterwards.
I guess you want me to go through the room on the right as the best. No, not this one. on my right
This
right now.
here can
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
work. Yeah, this here can also work. No, I mentioned. I think this is also good enough. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is also good enough because it gets you to the short sideline. That's what we want. You just
Oh,
want
okay,
to
okay.
make sure. Yeah, we set up at the shortest sideline possible. Let's put it this way. Okay, take
Mhm.
short range, and to be able to do that, you just try to avoid the poke. You push from corner to corner as much as possible, and it's gonna be easier for you to take space. Okay, let's keep watching. But now it's also more telegraphed. When you fly it in the open towards them, you just need to set up first. Doesn't matter where you are, you can go right side room, but verticality is even better, to be honest, on the up left, I think. And this is the same mistake. You kind of push from point A to point B. You could have done the same thing with the Rhine, right? Or maybe even Sig. Yeah, we're just pushing face to face. You gotta think, okay, what is the rest angle I can take? So abuse the fact I have mobility as the diva. Okay, we have our boosters kind of sitting there. Okay, where could you go now? What is the off angle option now? Where's the verticality? Maybe. If you have one, if you can take one.
So maybe I thought maybe again up in the left, but the hog is there, so kind of
A little bit
I'm not
risky.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe uh just behind the bus station, right there, around
Yeah,
that
this is
area.
this can be possible. Yeah, and you also are just gonna be hidden. You go from corner to corner quickly, then this way you divert this guy's attention. If something happens, you probably will get your boosters back as well if they're trying to push you. So they can always make it back or push even further to here, maybe, and just get the off angle again. Take verticality, but now we're just fighting face to face. This guy is getting pretty low, but it can do even more. It can do even more stuff. And this guy, the last thing you want to shoot typically, because he gets so much pocket. Yeah, you wanna do something else. Okay, that's fine. I think this is decent. We'll try to stabilize the point, try to take it as well. That's good. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do next. That's a little bit unfortunate. Usually during those times you wanna try to play cover, and it's gonna be alright. But you should be okay, to be honest, I think. They shouldn't make it. Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate, but you still get a point. Okay, what about next? Where do you go? Instead of playing on the main there. And see, there's a lot of open space here. All this open
Ah,
space is something what can kill you. Something what wastes your matrix, is something what wastes your armor. So where should you go?
uh, I mean, Farah is uh far,
Yeah?
but she got the Zen orb,
Okay.
and she's kind of alone, so she's probably easiest target. But again, she's very far, so it's gonna
Yes.
take like 2-3 seconds to get through her. So I'm not sure if this is the play.
Yes. So
Mm,
you can engage right away. Remember, we set it up first. What is the best position to set up for us? Maybe even if you want to attack Farah.
maybe go up in the I don't know how to call that.
This here?
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah. This is better. You get to the short sideline, you take off angle, you use verticality too. This allows you to scout. If they pull back because of you here, this is perfect. You get all the space for free. If not, then you can always attack on the main street. They can try to find any isolated target there,
but
basically.
I do have a question.
Oh yeah.
Diva is basically more shotgun.
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm?
so taking the off angle, in the clip you show me, and
Oh yeah.
when I'm saying I'm usually up, kind of a bit far from the uh, players. Isn't that less damage, less value?
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to shoot from the position where you are. You set up first and then you attack, similar to the Genji, right? We're not just
Okay,
spamming our
okay,
mouse
okay,
one. Right? We're just getting
okay, okay.
close. And instead of you skipping this part, you see, kind of could have this point one, I'm here. Point two, I'm there. Point three, I attack. Okay. So
Okay.
but you don't do this. You don't go from point one to point three. You just need to get from point one to two, get a shorter sideline. This way you avoid all that open space and damage, and then later on you attack. Yeah, that's right, but you get a
Okay,
setup
okay,
first.
okay.
You can also, sometimes you don't have to use a boosters because you're already close. Yeah, let's say they're under you. Well, you don't need to use anything in this case. You can just drop, right? Similar to the Genji. I wouldn't maybe use the dash going from point two to point three if maybe I have something under me, which is pretty killable too. That's okay. You can go after those guys, honestly. That's gonna be always alright. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, let's continue. Let's keep moving. And now you see there's just a lot of damage to take while being the main, kind of the same areas where non-mobile tanks would play. Use your mobility. Simple as that. Use mobility to set up somewhere. A pushing cart is sort of fine, but I usually recommend at the a lower, well, it's, I wouldn't say lower, but it's just around any rank below diamond or diamond. I usually recommend just try to still take space. I wouldn't necessarily push the cart, even though you would see some people push the cart at the high tier, because those other people, they get more value out of pushing and taking space. In theory, you want all those guys to set up while you push the card. That is the most ideal. But in your rank, what I'll see a lot of times, first off, those guys will play point anyway, so you don't need that in the first place. And even though they wouldn't play point too much, I would still ask somebody out of them, maybe not ask, but just make sure somebody pushes on the point from your team, and you can take space meanwhile. It's so more valuable because you're more in control of your games this way. Yeah, you're not playing with top of 100 players now, so we want to be taking advantage of whatever the value we can get. So see, like, we shouldn't be here. Yeah, you should be where? Where could you be right now? You can already set up. You can think where the next fight is gonna be and what's your angle is gonna be now. What do you think?
The next fight is gonna be right after the tunnel, just 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 after the uphill, about the next checkpoint. Between the next checkpoint and the exit
Yeah,
of the tunnel.
yeah. Between the next checkpoint, you're saying, okay, let's say, so I understand it. There's point A, there's point B, and maybe we also, let's just call this entire space red. Okay, where you want to be exactly again?
Oh, so
Maybe this C.
if
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so if we're going from C to red
Mhm.
right now, because they are respawning and we're pushing the payload,
Okay.
so maybe being closer. Wait. At first, I thought maybe being closer to point A, because I still close to my team. But then you said to be a bit more far from your team, a bit more far from the core. So
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe a bit more to the B section, not necessarily in B,
Mm.
but in the area of B,
Yeah. This can
and
work.
work from them.
Okay. Yeah. This can work. You usually notice that you have more flying capabilities with the Diva. That's why it works a lot of times. If you're playing last mobile tank, something like Sig, yeah, then your off angles A or C, those can work because you can't be too far away from your team. But B for the Diva can work just fine because you can take advantage of your mobility. You can easily try to go there and then reset up as your team, then go back to your team because you can use your shift and do that multiple times during the fight as well,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is gonna be so much easier. Yeah, stuff like that. So this is what we're gonna do. Just don't stay point setup. Don't stay point here. No need. You, in reality, a lot of times can also bait the enemy to do something silly. Maybe they try to push you, and then you boop them in as well, which is really nice. Okay, I could just say the angles you typically aim for, they're gonna be more flanky. There's gonna be called kind of similar to Tracer when your team is at A and I'm at this point B, I'm forming more of an 180 angle. This is gonna be a lot of times looking like that as well. If map allows you, you can totally take 180 and try to push from there. Just make sure you in a line of sight of your team, you guys attack in the same area, but set up first. Don't sit point. And see all of that incoming damage from the long fire. These guys are just spamming you. Yeah, you kind of get close eventually, so this ends up good. But from here, you can make it even better. You can trap them in your kill zone in a way. And the way your abilities works as well, you remember, when using shift, you can boop people in too. So you can boop this Rodok in if you really want to attack him, yeah? Maybe there's somebody else you can boop in. But now, you push them away, so you make them survive a little bit longer. There's no need. You have a need to kind of keep an enemy in your dangerous zone where the most of your team can attack you. Can attack them. Yeah. You see, like, what you done there? You push this guy towards your team. This is always better. That's why those 180 angles work so much better with the D.Va too. Does that make sense? Or any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, let's keep watching. Well, timing your ultimate is fine, I think. The execution maybe can be a little bit different, so you will not get frozen. Really high risk there, but the timing itself is fine, because they doing something with the freeze, why not? Yeah, and see, this is the same thing. Even here, we'll probably want to think about setup. I don't know, go anywhere, or maybe top here. Probably also can take down the fire, because they're more isolated. And then after that, we can try to fight those guys. Stuff like that. Just step by step. Approach it so it's getting more value. Now, face-to-face tanking, no, usually not good. Unless you have big advantage. You see, it's not working either, yeah, because you just push them away, yeah? You need to push them, but push them in your available space so the rest of your team can do something about it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, start here. Where should we go right now?
Up.
Yeah, just go up. Yeah, exactly. Go up this way. You're avoiding the poke. You're setting up your own pressure. And this entire space, you're removing that. You see, it's more telegraphed. You go from point A to all the way, let's call it C here, where we could done just go from here to here first, and then afterwards go there. And just take it slower, It's fine what are you engaging, but just how we approach that, you can change that a little bit. So there'll be easy. And this guy will not hook you. Or even though they will hook you, it's gonna be more valuable to your team, because you're coming from different side of the map. This guy dies, taking a little bit too much damage there, but it's okay, because the guy's got a trade. You should be winning this. Okay. Lost our mag, but you can try to farm it. That's good. What you've been doing there, also shooting the corners in general direction, it's usually the most valuable thing, to be honest. Just shoot where the most of the enemy is gonna come from, and it's gonna be alright. This is unfortunate. That's why it's just so difficult. Especially as a baby D, we don't want to be in card. I don't know. You gotta think about being anywhere else. Even though you're farming the mech, where should you be right now? The fight is about
in the
to
back,
start.
but yeah, maybe in the back, maybe in the left.
Left can work. Even the right side can work a little bit better. So at least you divert the attention. All of you guys are stuck on card. That's the all the time problem. A lot of times you notice people do stack there. There's no reason. Just win the fight. After that, you can push the cart, and everything will be fine. Might be a slightly harder point to approach as well, because of the more enclosed space, more short range space, but it's still doable. Okay. Do you want to skip to defense? Watch a little bit of defense as well? Do you have any questions? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think I got that.
Oh, I also see that you play Sig there. Okay, well, actually, I'm thinking if you play Sig, if there's no D.Va, what if we... Do you want to try to do live game on the D.Va? Try to apply this stuff, and then maybe if we have time, we can also go with Sig, or a little bit more D.Va? What do you want to
Yeah, we
do?
can.
Is it fine with you? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
let's try to do Diva. Let's try to play. And just make sure you set up first. Get to the shortest range possible, off angle, verticality will be okay. This way. 180 angle.
It's still live, okay?
Yeah, it's good. It's looking good.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's see. How is it gonna be? Yeah, setup is the most crucial, and targets, those can help you out in understanding what is the better position in general
Oh,
to
I
take.
do have a question though.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so I saw that there's no perks and all of that. Do you think there's the most valuable perks, or it's just up to me?
Oh, what are the most? Yeah, that definitely. Let me take a look. I just want to look at the numbers. Actually, I will tell you. Okay, training range practice. Yeah, I've been making the spreadsheet before as well, but they adjusted some numbers probably. So let me take a look again. Okay, Diva perks. Okay. Okay, minor power, extended boosters, hitting enemy with boosters. Overhouse and Colmac. What kind of perks do you use at the moment so far?
I use the Mac, the more HP in that, and the missiles.
Yeah, I see. From what I know, the mech thing, this bonding power, is definitely more niche. You just so valuable in the mech. I don't think you have to play for that really niche. It's kind of a meme thing, probably, because also
Mhm.
damage radius is increased. I wouldn't take that. Extended boosters 100% better. The major. Okay, let me see. Shield system convert. Okay, heavy rockets. Mm-hmm. This one depends, it feels. But in my opinion, I would just do heavy rockets because offensive pressure. Just so it's more on the proactive side. But yeah, the minor is definitely extended boosters, it feels.
Yeah, boosters.
Yeah, boosters is just gonna be so much better. Yeah. Because biting power, there's no point. You shouldn't be out of mech anyway, so there's no point in taking the perk. If you're out of mech, something's wrong, typically. You just want to be doing something else. Okay, let's just focus on making sure we are getting on the best off angle possible. 180, setup first, and then attack afterwards. Find isolated target. Should be good.
Okay, so like here, do you think it's better to go up this balcony or on the right from the...
Well, here, if they're really close, I think that the balcony on
No,
the
they
right is
usually
slightly
play
better.
there.
Yeah, but see, a lot of times they can also take the fight, which is close. Yeah, so you kind of start here, and then you scout, but then you gotta get close anyway. So you'll be fighting for their top on this side. Yeah, right there. This is where you want to be on the. Make sure you
Five
set
lags.
up.
Oh, oh,
Yeah. You
F
just need to go up on the top first.
FPS drops. Oops.
That's okay. That's okay. Make sure you go on the top. Okay, you can also push this guy away. Nice. Okay, stabilize. Don't forget your HP. Okay, and afterwards you watch the isolated. This is a good target. The Mercy is just fine. Oh, if you get any FPS drops, watch the stream. I think your quality of the stream is a little bit too high. It's 1440, so
Okay,
you
okay.
can drop the quality a little. You can just put it on 720 after you finish the fight. Shoot the Mercy first. The Mercy is healing for free, right? Isolate a target first. That's fine. If you have time now, you can just try to, yeah, just choose 720 quality.
Oh,
It'll be,
damn. Okay.
yeah, that's why you get FPS drops.
Um, is this okay?
That should be good.
Okay,
Looking
okay.
good, looking good. Yeah.
Cause I got Nitro from the Discord for free, and
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, make sure you set up. We focus. We focus on setup first. Setup. No fighting face to face. Yeah, you need to go up
Okay,
on
okay.
the building or something, right? Setup. Okay, and after that you can choose your battle. Okay, fine, good. I can get rid of the Mercy. The Mercy is a good target, actually. If you can find her. She's on the right building. Yeah, right there. Nice. Next target. Isolated. Okay, we almost got them. Can farm the mech. Just make sure you stay alive. Boosters are better, yeah, exactly. No need in overhauls. He shouldn't be out of mech anyway. Alright. That's fine. We'll get our mech, and after that you can be in the fight. And do the same. You need to set up. Probably taking top can be one of the best things later on. So you have verticality. Okay, set up first, always. No fighting first, set up first. You can even go all the way right or something. Yeah, we don't care. Just make sure you set up. Yeah, this is better. Okay, the right room is also can be okay. The push, but this is even better. Yeah, if you get deeper 180 angle. Yeah, top is good. Whenever you can get it. This guy is just okay. All right. That's fine. Stabilize. And then after that, you gotta repeat the same stuff, probably. You need to be able to set up a little bit more. Okay. Alright, just keep clearing. Keep clearing the space. Should be all good. Oh, the stream dropped for some reason. Now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Took the position on top there. That's perfect. If you can get even closer, you can consider that. Just find the best position possible, whatever is the closest one. So you will be able to attack the rest of these guys. Okay. Yeah, good. Setting up on the top first, and then afterwards you can decide what to do. You can always find isolated targets afterwards. Maybe somebody's been on top by themselves, so you can also eat important charges. Like this Surgeon Shaft, you should eat.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just a little bit early dive there. Your setup was good though. The setup was good.
Okay.
Just let them push in a little bit more, so the rest of your team can do stuff. You should be all good this way. All right. Okay. That's okay, fine. Just take your time with the shots as well, so I'm not all over the place. Be careful. Nice, good kill. Try to stabilize, if possible. Yeah, okay. Getting healed there. This guy's isolated, can take him out. Well, it's fine, it's fine. Just play it slow. Farm your mech. Farm your mech. You should be okay. You usually want to play corners really, really tight when you farm the mech and shoot their corners where you expect the enemy to be. Okay, set up first. Oh, maybe if there's isolated, you can also fight. But yeah, make sure you use the setup first. Better scouting. Okay. Okay, fine. This guy is really low. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This point is really gonna be one of the hardest because there's a lot of short range space. So you need one of the best timings here. You want to make sure the rest of your team can easily follow up because you cannot fall back that easily, like on the second or first point.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
make sure, yeah, make sure your timing is solved there. You're kind of set up, yeah. Maybe get even closer. Maybe you can take another high ground even behind them. Remember, 180 angle is always better, right? So you can take top, but go even deeper on their opposite top. Yeah, right there where the map is potentially. But you have to challenge those guys first. Okay, so kind of get close on the top first. Yeah, make sure. Yeah. So you see, okay, this is better, and now you have full health, and you can go. Yeah, 180 angles, always better. All right, that's looking fine. Okay, and now you set up again if you can. I think you just keep fighting. These guys are not resetting, so take advantage of that. Okay, keep fighting. Yeah, nice. Okay, a little bit early, but it's okay. Not too bad actually. Isolated targets. Yeah, squishy person. Always. Bap, bap, or their tracer. Okay. That's fine. Can play a little bit slower. Just make sure you don't die. Okay. Looking fine.
Okay, we got it. Okay, okay, okay.
So points a little bit harder, but other points been pretty decent. Just keep taking top. Make sure you set up. After that, you fighting, and it's gonna look good.
So, do you think I pushed a little bit early, and that's why?
Well, the first and second point felt okay. Just on the first point, you could have set up earlier on the top right away, but other than that, it's fine. The third point, you only gotta take the other top. You just not at 180 angle when you took the right top. Yeah, you kind of maybe not 90 angle or something, but that's not the best. That's
Mm,
why once you took 180, it actually did something, right? Because it diverted the attention completely. You create a pincer in a way, just come from the
mm,
back. And you also contested important people on the top because those are isolated. Those are also contesting more important positions. You need to push them first anyway. So once you did that, that looked good. It was not that he was pushing early, just you was pushing through the open space and not setting up
mm.
the best spot. Yeah.
So here, we
Well, there are
should I?
there are some you definitely don't want to take too much poke, so you really need to let the enemy in a little bit more, play tight corners. You can maybe play right side, play top, play this maybe left corner a little bit, but be careful of the face tanking. You need to, I think coming from the side is usually the best. I mean, from the 180. So I would
Okay, I
even
got
maybe try
question.
to sit on the right side, to be honest. So like this left room, yeah, this can also work. Make sure you don't take too much poke before the fight starts though. You need more cinematics for when the fight happens, so you can stabilize yourself. Okay, looking good. Nice. Nice, good. You can just clean up. You can get the Hanzo for free. Yeah, and now get the Sig. This guy can die still. This guy is... Yeah, so
No, no, no.
reinforced. That's okay. Well, set up again. You may even try something sneaky. It's fine. Just make sure you're not making too much noise if you do that, and attack with your team. The timing wise, right? Okay, not too bad, yeah. Right. If you're done pushing, try to set up again. Make sure you have the best spot possible.
Oops.
And that's fine. Yeah, this can also work. That's good. That's good. Try to survive. If you don't have HP, you just go back, survive. Make sure you peek the supports. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We're trying to stabilize. Yeah. I still should be able to be honest. Okay. almost. Almost.
Hate her. My God.
That's fine. You're a good character to deal with either of those. Ash or Freya, doesn't matter. We should be okay. Now, just continue the same stuff. You will be setting up and then fight. Just find whatever is isolated on their side later. Your team is not in, though. Watch
Yeah,
where your
yeah,
team is. Be careful.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
The
be ready to set
maze.
up. Yeah, may help them out. This guy's almost dead. Remember that any physical damage also goes to the shift. So potentially when they're using that, when they're low HP, you can even sneak in the melee shots. Yeah, just kind of melee them a little, and it's gonna be fine. You can just try
Yeah.
to burst through this way, so you're not shooting and just giving them HP. Similar thing. You need to take the top. Take the top, contest that, and after that you can decide what to do. We'll push them from there.
The Sigma is on top.
Yeah, you need to deal with them because they're gonna otherwise they're gonna do a lot. Yeah. You need to be okay, little bit face to face, but yeah.
Muscle memory.
It's just if you fly to the window like that, I want to make sure you have full medics or something, or just come from the side. Otherwise, because otherwise it's gonna be tough. You're just getting blasted
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you face to face. Yeah, you need to come from the side. Yeah, avoid the poke. Okay, we set up still. We thinking, so we're not face tanking on the open space, right? I think where can you be? Yeah, even those corners might work. Just think where you're gonna go next. So it's gonna be 180 angle or something. Missing out HP a little. That's a little bit unfortunate. This angle where you choose is good. It just can do different rotation. Make sure you
Huh.
just go. Yeah, you could maybe start on the right side right away, right? So you not getting blasted that much. Yeah. Once I found a mag, just find any good setup and then fight isolated again. Farm you mag, farm you mag. Okay, perfect. What's isolated now? You see that BAP up there or something? Okay, be careful. Alright. Well, that's good. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, most of this point, he will be abusing this stop here, I think, and he just try to go on that backline once they push through. There's no other play besides the right side too. Yeah, the right side or the top can work most of the time. 180 angle this way. Alright, see what's isolated. Okay. That was decent, why not? And you need to stabilize. Yes. And stabilize, because you don't have your armor.
Yeah, I don't have HP.
So see, it's kind of the flow. You in, you don't have HP, get your armor back, and then in again. Just a little bit lost to the flow there. Oh, the attack was good. You just need to stabilize a little. Should be alright. Okay. You guys should be able to make it, to be honest. Just make sure you kill the BAP, yeah? Nice. Ah, it's looking fine. By the way, this point, you can easily collapse on them. You can just contest, again, top left, or come from the right side. Definitely not main,
It's
though.
there.
Yeah, exactly. You can come from the side. Once they push to the choke, you can always fight their backline. So once you drop from the bridge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 180 angle. You also have your bomb too, so think, how can you set it up? Maybe you can do something sneaky. Not sure, but you can think. And this looks decent. You say that you book them away, you force some resources, why not? Works great. Okay. Yeah, enabling your Reaper is also fine once they push in with you. And a Matrix them a little. Right, 1 for 1, choose isolated target. Mm-hmm. Choose an isolated, but you need to stabilize soon. Remember, if you don't have your... Okay, you have armor, so you're good. If you have it, then you can keep going. Isolated. Better target, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got lucky.
Yeah, it was well timed, for sure. Okay, you only need to stabilize. The time plays for you. You need to stabilize and get the squishies, really. You have better spawns, so it's all good. Try to get the Mercy first, if you can. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, looks decent. Looks decent. That's good. That's good. Alright, so how the game felt? What do you think?
A bit weird. You know,
Yeah,
not
it's
something
definitely...
that I'm really, you know, used to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm,
You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. Just the practice. Just keep doing the same things you did with the angles, with the verticality and such, and will be really, really good. I think one
mm,
of the biggest things there is 100% when you fight, keep an eye on your armor a little bit more. So you engaging, you actually attack isolated targets. But then if you don't have your armor, make sure you stabilize. You don't necessarily have to go towards your team. You can even just go back towards the position where you started if you can get healed there. Yeah, like there are a lot of cases where your team can still see you when you're on the 180 position, especially if there's a lot of open space and you have more long range support too. So you
mm.
can do that. Maybe take HP back, but other than that, it's yeah,
I
it's
do
decent.
have a
It's
question.
better. Yeah.
So you're saying when I don't have the armor, is
Yes.
there a difference between the normal HP and the armor, or
Yes.
just because it's like around the 50%?
Yes. The armor gives you damage reduction, so you need to keep that.
Mm,
Yes.
okay, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you definitely, most of the time, to make it easy for you when fight, when not to fight, you need to fight around when you have armor. Okay, when you don't have armor, you should don't want to fight. Okay, and your
Okay,
Matrix is
okay.
exactly there to make it easy for you to stabilize. So while you have in your armor, so we kind of go in, trade a little bit of armor, attention goes to you. They shoot. Okay, you stabilize with Matrix, and your team healing you. Your armor is back. You start shooting again, stabilize a little bit more with the Matrix, and then after that, you probably will not have Matrix, and most of the armor is gone, so you're out. Yeah, that's how you do that most of the time. You need to fight around the armor for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's how I would put it. Okay, maybe you can also add that in the summary too. Okay, fight around the armor. Okay, just gonna keep it this way. Do you have any other questions about anything?
Mm, I think I need to, you know, get used to it, maybe without the a bit FPS drops.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it felt like it. Yeah, that's fine. But even with FPS drops, we've done pretty good. I think that's
Thanks.
fine.
I don't know why I have them, because my PC is okay. Just
It might be Discord because you screen share. Sometimes it can be. Even for the past
okay.
PCs, sometimes it gets that. There are also some settings. I'm not sure you have them enabled or disabled. I noticed that if you actually have the game mod on, and there's something like GPU scheduling, if it's enabled, then it usually runs better with the Discord on as well. But you can check that out, the settings and everything, because It's depends on the system you also have. So just see your recommended settings, but they're definitely something you can look into. GPU scheduling and game mod. It's usually on by default, but you can check. Okay, I think we can look at the Sigma for the rest of the time if you want to. Do you want to look at the Sig?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do the Sig. Do we want to use the same game we watch with you?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
I mean, yeah, I do. I
Hmm.
was a bit tired, so yeah. But yeah, I think we can use with that gameplay.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fine. That's fine. I also wanted to add about this perks. I think try to experiment with the major. What feels better? Shield system or heavy rockets, but I think mainly
heavy
for
rockets.
yeah, so you gotta I think just try to get a feel, because I think both of those can be valuable. It feels that shield system can be definitely better if there's a lot of spam damage going on, and we this way can stabilize a little bit more. But if you have some, if you, especially if you play against non-spam comp, there's some sort of more bro comp, they only just trying to shoot you when they in your face. So I'm thinking maybe why not to have heavy rockets kind of go in, out. But you can try to experiment with this, but with the minor, definitely, I think the boosters is just so much better, because binding power is more niche. Most of the time, we are in mech anyway, so it's kind of like this eject when it grants you temporary overhouse and call max damage radius increase. I think it's a really more niche scenario. If you play against heavy dive, sometimes you notice that you use a mech as a second life a little bit more. So I think maybe in those cases it can be more valuable, because this way you get this more overhouse. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, just make sure. Okay, do I have the perks on? Okay, let me see.
No.
Okay, so it's basically no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we basically, when we have this extra HP, we can survive a little bit more after that, after the dive, maybe. But other than that, I think extended boosters usually feels better
Mm.
from what it says. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, keep in mind all of this. It can be adaptable depending on situation. There are definitely no just always take this perk, but I think I kind of explained the thought process behind that for the most part, so you can just follow that for the most part. Okay. Any questions about the perks as well, or?
No.
Okay, okay. Let's look at this here. Okay, we Midtown. Yeah, that's our map, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
We need like the half.
Yeah, just need the defense. Okay, so this is where it starts. I think it definitely feels easier for Sigma when you're in defense, because sometimes it might feel awkward, like you saw on that game we played. When you're in defense, you have to wait for the enemy to get through, but it's fine. You just can still let them do something. Make sure you have the best setup, and then after that, you collapse on their backline if you play Diva. But other than that, especially if you have really heavy poke comp, Sigma is definitely not bad. It's definitely good. You can try to play him in those cases. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what do you feel like your struggle with Sig? Is it the same positioning stuff like we discussed on Diva, target priority, or is there anything else?
Be honest, I don't know.
Oh, it's fine. Let's keep looking. I definitely can start with the early pressure, early spam. That's fine. Okay, maybe shield this far. Sure. Not sure. It's too easy to
About the
rock that,
yeah.
but yeah, you usually can find a little bit better targets there. The flyers in here, ironically, is less of a priority, because it's just so much harder to hit for you when you play Sig. You usually want to look for more consistent pressure, more stationary targets. Of course, we can pressure divers too, but just the flyers are gonna be more difficult for us. Okay. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Trying to stabilize. Okay. Maybe a little bit too early, but it's decent. Okay, pressure on Diana. Kinda just trying to keep the damage up, sure. A small thing, like we mentioned, even on the Sigma, just try to look for high quality targets anyway, because there's a tank right in front of you, but there are still better targets like this May, right? Or maybe even this Ana. We're still in the range to hit them, so just keep doing that. Just make sure you deal with squishes first, because this is the follow-up. They control the space with the damage. You just need to deal with them instead of dealing with the tank. It just start more attention, like we talked
Hmm.
about with the diva. Yeah, remember, your shots are explosions. You don't have to hit your shots directly. You just have to make sure those are exploding near the character,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be right. Really well timed shift, to be honest, because you did the nade there. Okay, did rock the May. Okay. That's fine. You guys should be able to pursue. The rock is a little bit awkward, but yeah, you can just keep shooting, because there's kind of maybe if a rock,
Bastion.
then yeah, rock the bastion, but that's fine. It happens. Okay, a little bit annoying deaths there. Could have avoided that for sure, but well, let's see what's next.
I
Okay.
think they took the point because I died.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely, there's a big contribution to that for sure,
yeah, yeah.
because you wanna there's nothing wrong with pushing. It's just how you do that. You wanna make sure you maintain most of the resources. So if we look through the lens of what we talked about before in the diva, your aggression, it kind of stops, or not stops, you just have to stabilize when most of your shields are gone. You have shield HP here, and they also are regenerating. It's just not dependent on the passive in general, because with the passive, we also get the healing, but those shields are also recharging. It's just by itself, yeah, but the nature, how the shields work. And that's why you can usually kind of play aggressive only until the shields, you have the shields. Once you don't have those, then we usually use something like your shield or your shift. Yep, like in this case, I think it's okay if you start with the shield, because shift is more expensive. Yeah, usually start with less expensive, with cheaper resource, and then afterwards it would be easier for you to survive. Probably you would also kill this Zenyatta here, but it's fine, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Yeah, trying to get to, but it's gonna be difficult at this point. Yeah. You guys wouldn't be able to make it anyway. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit too difficult. Okay, what is the best play now with your position? Where should you be,
Uh,
and
let's
why?
imagine I'm not dead.
Yeah, well, your decision starts here, kind of when you just starting. Yeah, it's even earlier, maybe when they're already about to take the point. You lost multiple guys, and you're also probably about to lose this Ana. Yeah, almost. Yeah, we lost that Ana. So decision starts here. Where should you go right now? Where should you be?
First of all, not to push. Yeah, I don't, that was kind of dumb. I know. Um, so maybe work more about the area between the next to the car, like the corner there.
This might
Like
work.
I have exactly a line.
Hmm.
Like, wait, I'm gonna send you. Like there.
Yeah, you're talking
Wait, like
about if they cross this area here, like this way?
yeah, yeah. Because we already know we're gonna lose this fight. So I think maybe there.
Oh, yeah.
Since
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. You exactly want to... And you see, you exactly want your fundamentally your positioning to be at somewhat of a long range sideline. I don't think you have to, most of the time, fight face to face. If you ever notice that you're forcing fight face to face, then something is wrong, especially if you're fighting versus enemy Orisa. There's only difference that they got brawl tank and you a poke tank, but you guys both have poke compositions kind of in nature. They have slightly more brawl oriented, short range. So take advantage of that. Make sure you keep poking. Make sure you take the long sideline. So this corner, it's gonna be a little bit opposite to Diva. You're gonna be needing to use this space, which is more open, and start attacking. Okay, I can attack from point A to point B. Okay, this is perfect. Maybe after that, I can try to go here. Let's call this, I don't know, position C. And you can also attack this area, open. You keep controlling open areas with your positioning as much as possible. Okay. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mostly for the SIG. You're just gonna be controlling opposite to Diva, where you need to get close and then attack. Yeah, on Diva maybe you can get, but even on the Diva might not be the best time to attack because most of your team is not ready. So we
Yeah.
probably set up somewhere verticality, maybe go over here, and then this way you get really close, your team starts attacking, and then you collapse on something. But as a SIG, we're just really close currently, so it will be difficult. Okay. Yeah, have to stabilize, and at this point we're setting. That's fine. Probably take the top. Your Anna's dead. The sideline is much better, so you have that exactly. Just keep attacking. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. In this case, if you have big advantage, it's not too bad. Just keep in mind later on that if you can maintain longer sideline, still rather do that because it's just no downside in that anyway. Your longer sideline, okay, I keep whatever is shooting me. Like this Bastion, you have decent distance, and this Zenyatta, you have decent distance, and this here also have decent distance, so it's fine. And then later on, you just keep rotating and use the longer sidelines. So see, because now we wanna be more careful if you're trying to get the close fight. Yeah, like here, this might be a little bit more scary. You have bigger advantage, so it's fine for now. But then later on, yeah, let's see where we are. Yeah, this is definitely scary. You should be punished for this now. It's you see the sideline we get at, yeah, and there's complete 5v5 as well. We could be realistically doing the same work, attacking the Mei, maybe attack the backline, but you have the distance from all those angles too. You see what I mean? You just kind of need to keep attacking. If these guys would turn around at you, and not only Mei would wall you, but also Sleep Dart would come in, there's a high risk that you die there. You should be really careful about that.
Yeah.
Angles are not too bad on Sigma either. Your angles, it has to be softer compared to Diva, not that far usually, and you will usually notice that you taking the long sideline, like we mentioned. You wouldn't be fighting face to face too much. Yeah. It becomes complicated, and see, at the end of the day, you're not able to do that rotation because you're fully committed to the short range space. So even though you try to rotate and keep the long sideline, it would be really difficult. You just need to be constant pressure. Okay, they get close. Okay, I go back a little, keep pressure. Yeah, go maybe here. But now you guys fully committed, and there's no reason anyway because you're playing for more poke. Just keep playing for longer fight. Keep rotating your way, opposite to Diva. Yeah, just keep the distance at all times. Okay, does all of that make sense? Or any questions? Okay.
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's maybe watch one more fight and then we can summarize at the end. Just what we got so far for today. Alright, getting close. Yes, it's okay. If you think about that, though, when you're trying to push through, and kind of ideally should be able to hear them, what is that sideline or position we should be leaning towards currently? So you keep distance between the angles. Distance from angles, the enemy angles, let's put it this way. Where should you be? Where should you go?
Can you simplify that?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So this here, I call this angle. This is angle A, this is angle B, and this is angle C. As sigma, as we mentioned, we want to keep long sightline and keep
Mhm.
distance between those angles. Okay, let's keep distance from those angles. What kind of position you can take? So you have distance from angles and also shoot while shooting them. Where could you go?
I don't think that was a bad idea to be behind this wall.
Yeah, it's not bad, but you see, it's close to angle A, right? It's here.
So I
Mm-hmm.
so I should be mm, more far. That's what you're saying?
Far where? What position it could be taken in them?
From like a bit more
Mm-hmm.
far from A.
Okay. So which position allows you to be further?
So maybe where I'm standing right there, but a bit more to the uh other wall, the other
Yeah.
lamp.
Yeah, exactly. So see, your rotation will be something like a start at this here, and then afterwards maybe you can go here. It might seem like kind of similar, and it's good cover too. But this way you have distance, and you can shoot this. There's a distance between you and A. There's a distance between you and B. And there's distance between you and C, and eventually you might even get to here. So we can also have similar amount of distance. But if you get really close on the left, then there's a high chance May punishes us. All right, and you also saw that you got frozen. Didn't get too much value, but anyway, just something to look into as well. That's pretty
Mhm.
scary. So you always keeping the distance. You need to think, okay, where the enemies are, what I want to shoot, have the long sight line, have distance from angles. That's how you can put it. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Well, for the most part, that's it. It feels like mostly went over the positional and a little bit engagement as well. Yeah, just our target priority today. But yeah, how you would summarize what you went over? What we went over today? What you learned so far?
Positioning, I need to work on that.
Yeah. So
Um,
what kind of stuff exactly regarding positioning?
uh, Work more on off angles and take the shortest path, even
Mm-hmm.
though even if it's gonna take me like two checkpoints and not just one straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to engage more and to be aware about squishies and my team more.
Okay.
Uh, don't focus mostly about the tank and just don't get confused between Diva and the Sigma. I think that's the best, because I played more Diva in Sigma and more Sigma in Diva, so that was kinda, if you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I think there's definitely, if we put it this way, there's gonna be a difference, right? With the Diva, it's more dive character. We're taking advantage of our mobility. With Sigma, we're more stationary, so we're not taking those deep angles, but you take longer sightlines. Yeah, remember, you keep poking the enemy, have distance from the enemy angle, so you're not too close, because sometimes you're a little bit too close, like you were doing the Diva, you're right. So just keep that in mind. What tank allows you to do, at what effective range you can fight, and this way it will be easier to understand, I think. And
Hmm.
will be easier to understand where to position in general and what targets you're gonna be shooting to. You can think about the backline more, right? Like we mentioned, especially based on the game. You just you just send me, but other than that, I think it's good. With how you implemented that with the Diva, I like that. That looked pretty decent. So keep this up. It should be okay. If there gonna be any questions as well, let me know. You can always send me some of the questions in the Discord as usual. Maybe send me timestamps as well. I will take a look and should be good. Also, keep in mind, fight around your resources, fight around your armor, right? Fight around your shields whatsoever. You don't have the resource, okay? Stabilize. Use corners, use your defensive abilities. This way it will be easy for you to stabilize. Okay? Doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any final questions for today?
I don't think so.
Okay, if no questions, then I will see you later. I'm sending you the summary really soon, and should be all good. Yeah, we should be all set then. Okay, I will see you later then in the future sessions, and just yeah, if you're gonna ask me any questions, feel free to do that as well. And yeah,
If I'm gonna buy more sessions, I don't feel very committed